ladies and gentlemen. I had this problem submitted on Twitter, so I'm going to see if I can help somebody out with it. Alright, what it looks like we're dealing with here in the first one is an isosceles triangle. Now, if you have forgotten, or it's been a while, or you've never learned it, isosceles triangles means that the triangle has two sides that are congruent. Now, before we get started on that, let's talk about an important fact about triangles. If there's an angle in a triangle, the side that is associated with that angle's measure is the opposite side. Therefore, this angle matches up with this angle would match up with this one. Okay? The angles that, I don't know what the best terminology here is, that an angle's measure that corresponds with the side's measure is the one opposite. Okay? A good way to remember that you've seen before, probably in the past, is with right triangles. You've got a right angle. Most important angle, obviously, in the triangle. It's like the Michael Jordan of angles in triangles. It's attached to the hypotenuse, correct? Which is opposite it. Important stuff happens opposite that angle, that side that's not touching it. Okay? Therefore, like the bigger the angle, then the bigger the opposite side. Bigger the side, bigger the opposite angle. It just works that way. Okay, that being said, in this isosceles triangle, in a triangle, if you have two sides that are equal, then that means their opposite angles are equal. Simple as that. So therefore, this is 70. Therefore, this one has to be 70 degrees. And you're done with that. Okay, on to B. Now, this one's actually even easier. This little marker right here, since those have one little line like that, that means they are congruent. So if this is 53 degrees, this is 53 degrees. Now, fun fact, 180 degrees is in a triangle, correct? Between all three angles. 1, 2, 3, always has to be 180. Well, say you had to find that angle measure. All you do is add this one up and this one up, which is 106, and subtract. You get 74. Therefore, this angle is 74 degrees. But nobody cares about that because it doesn't matter. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next one. Okay? It says, what is the value of x? Alright, well, this goes back to that one we saw earlier, up here. If those sides are equal, therefore their opposite angles are equal. So therefore, this has to be x. Which you're like, that doesn't help because I don't know x. It doesn't matter if I get that angle. Well, that part I told you up here about being 180 degrees, we know this whole thing adds up to 180. So we can subtract the 30 that we already know. It's 150, right? Now, out of that 150 degrees, we know that we have to split what's left between these two x's. So therefore, we can just say it equals 2x. And then we divide by 2. And then that's 75 degrees. Equals x. That means this angle is 75 and this angle, which our x happens to be what we're trying to find. Last one. This one's a little more difficult. You need to know some of the triangle congruence things to know that this triangle is congruent to this triangle, which if you've covered them, you know that this is side, angle, side is congruent to this side, angle, side, okay? Therefore, we know by side, angle, side, those two triangles are congruent, which means all their corresponding angles and sides are congruent. If you don't know that, check on my math thing. I've got a lot of breakdowns on side, angle, angle, etc. under my geometry page on YouTube. YouTube.com/Sir Tyler Tarver. Ding dong. Self-promotion. What? Okay, let's keep going. All right, now, if this is x, then I know this is x as well, correct? Because these little guys right here are the same because they have the little lines. So forth, that's not a word. So we know those x and x are equal. Now we know this is 42 degrees, correct? Now, here we go. Since we know those two are equal, and we know that this line right here and this line right here have split this, and this is an angle bisector, that means this is 90 degrees. Therefore, so I can draw this triangle out so we have more room. This is 42, this is 90, and this is x, correct? Well, let's solve it. That means that's 90, 42, and x. Therefore, we know that's 180 total. I'm going to add my 90 plus my 42, which is 132. Subtract it from my 180, and we get 48 degrees. And you are done, boy!
Hey, Tyler here. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out tarveracademy.com.
all day. Now, if you could, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Tell your friends. Don't tell your mom. Do not tell your mom. I'm just kidding. Tell your mom. She's your mother, goodness sake.